Hello everyone, I'm Debbie Giordano. You're watching Valley Homes on TV. You've turned into Channel 26, and we air on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. And Todd Flesner is here with Stern Mortgage, and we'll be ending the show with updates with the Milpitas market.
We'll
and
talk about what's happening with mortgages and the economy and what's happening with our local real estate market.
But for today, I am so excited. We've brought Henry Manayan and be our guest today, and he's president of the Milpitas Rotary Club, which is a club that you and I belong to. So.
Terrific, yeah, exactly. I'm excited to have Henry here. You know, a lot of what we like to try to do as we share with folks through this program is talk about what makes Milpitas unique, what makes us special, what makes us a great place to live and work. And so the service clubs and some of the extra activities that happen around town are a big part of that. And
Yes,
so,
they're a big part of the puzzle.
So Henry leads us now this year as a president of Rotary Club, and so we thought it would be good to come in and have a chance to talk a little bit about what does Rotary do in our community? How do we make an impact?
Great.
So
let's lead off. What is Rotary International?
Well, Rotary International is the world's first service organization. It was started over 100 years ago in 1905 in Chicago by a gentleman named Paul Harris, who was an attorney and who wanted to look for a way in which he could replicate the small town lifestyle that he had grown up with in his youth. So he created the service organization in Chicago that would look after community needs, things that were often overlooked. And they did community projects to help the needy in many different ways, in education and services to seniors and so forth. And that idea has replicated itself internationally. Today, it is one of the largest service organizations in the world, with more than 1.3 million members in in hundreds of countries and on 6 continents. So the Milpitas Rotary itself is a club that's been around for over 50 years. In fact, we just had our golden anniversary recently. It was founded in 1954.
Okay.
And the club currently has about 50 members.
Just because I'm female and in the club,
Yes.
when did Rotary start beginning to have women join the club? I remember that it was an all-men's club.
Yes, you are correct, Debbie. In fact, I remember my first meetings going to Rotary International or to our local Rotary. It was just exclusively men. And fortunately, they saw the wisdom.
Yes, they did.
And invited women. And we've even had several women presidents now in our Milpitas Rotary Club. So it must have been probably I guess it would probably be in the 80s, mid-80s sometime, that women started coming into Rotary, and they came in a big way, and especially in Milpitas. We're so blessed to have so many female members. I think we're about a 50-50 ratio right now.
I think we are, yeah.
Yeah, the women have made a great contribution to our club, and so that's one of the things that's neat about Rotary is the makeup of the organization. Maybe talk a little bit about who are the members of Rotary, who belongs to the club.
Well, it's very interesting you should ask that. In Milpitas Rotary, and similarly in other Rotary clubs that I've noticed across our state and across the country, is that you find a lot of community leaders that are involved in Rotary. People that are volunteers, hardcore volunteers, people that are interested in improvement of the community. And I think that seems to be a common thread among all Rotarians, people that want to make their community a better place in which to live. So you find community leaders, you also find a lot of public officials. Same in Milpitas Rotary. We have 3 former mayors, including myself, that are members of the Rotary, and city council members, and school superintendents, city administrators, and you find a lot of business owners in the Milpitas Rotary, as well as people that are, have a very high level of commitment to their field.
And a variety of businesses.
Yes.
You have chiropractors, CPAs,
Yes, dentists, yes.
attorneys.
Yes, engineers, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a pretty good broad spectrum of folks throughout the community, both from the public service end of things to folks who are in the business community. I think oftentimes people think about Rotary as, hey, it's a businessman's club or something along those lines, but it really is a good mixture.
So, Henry,
Yes.
when are the meetings? What are they scheduled? What does it look like? How does somebody join? And what does the due structure look like?
Oh, sure. Now, the Milpitas Rotary Club meets weekly, like all Rotary clubs. We always have a weekly meeting. In fact, every day of the week, you can expect that there'll be a Rotary Club meeting somewhere on this planet. So, but the Milpitas Rotary Club meets every Monday at the Embassy Suites Hotel. It's a lunch meeting, so we meet at 12 noon every Monday at the Embassy Suites Hotel, which is right on Calaveras Boulevard at the corner of Highway 680. And anyone can come to a meeting. You can be our guest, and you can to join the club. You have to be sponsored by a member. And when you're sponsored, you usually have to, you're under a probationary period, which is called, you get a red badge, and then you do your due diligence and your requirements, and after that, after a certain period, after you've passed, and you're admitted for full membership, usually a few months later after that, after the club has a chance to interact with you, also see how you interact with others and your level of commitment to the projects of the club. Now, the dues that you asked about are relatively small. To join, in a one-time initiation fee is only $50, and then thereafter annual dues are only $175. But they also have another $75, which is levied pro rata monthly on a monthly basis throughout the year, that are called fines or recognition assessments.
Oh, we know those well.
Yes. So if it's your birthday or something, you're gonna get recognized for it. And so the total is about $250 per year.
Okay.
All right, terrific. So the club meets weekly for lunch, and what happens in those meetings? Can someone expect if they were to show up at a Rotary Club meeting?
Yes. Well, it's very interesting. The club usually has a guest speaker during each lunchtime to talk about a certain subject. The first part of the meeting is usually club-run business, and they do some housekeeping matters and talk about the projects that the club is going to do locally. And the second half of the meeting is dedicated to a guest speaker. And the speaker can be on a range of any topic. Like, for instance, last week they had a speaker from the city of Milpitas that talked about the green building ordinance. The previous week we had a speaker about the type of teas one drinks and how they can become helpful to one's health. So we get a variety of speakers. Next week is going to be very exciting. We have a professional speaker who is a motivational and humorous speaker that will be coming to the Milpitas Rotary, that will also be jointly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce.
All right, well, let's change